Well, joining us for this very interesting chat today is Aprameya Radhakrishnan, who's joining us from Ku. Thank you very much, Aprameya, for joining us today on the Daily Dispatch. I want to begin by asking you a little bit about the kind of traction that Ku is working with. I was reading some of your recent interviews, and you said that you're looking at 100 million downloads coming up soon. So tell us a little bit about the plan to get to 100 million.
Yeah, so in the past 6 to 8 months, I think we've really grown well, and overall downloads right now is inching towards 20 million. So we're at around 16, 17 million right now, and our monthly active user number is growing very rapidly. So we're close to between 7 to 8 million monthly active users. So that's almost like 8x from where we were in the beginning of the year, or even 10x. So I think that's very encouraging that our downloads, our monthly active users, everything is growing well. Our community is getting stronger. We across all the fields of interest for Indians, whether it is sports, especially cricket, whether it's spirituality, whether it is entertainment, movies, poetry, media, journalism, news, politics, across all these interests, we have some of the most important folks of India who have joined the platform and have started expressing every day. What's important to note is that, microblogging is a format where you don't come and create once in a blue moon, but you create every day. You share every thought. So I think that is very empowering for the larger audience of India, especially because all of the key people of India are now talking in their own language on the internet for the very first time, right? And that's what we're enabling. So very promising, and good days ahead. Yeah.
That interesting perspective out there. I want to understand, when it comes to the regional audiences, there's far more perspective when you look at each language out there, considering that there's far more depth in the kind of conversations that come across on regional platforms. So when you look at maybe the English Twitter microblogging platforms like Twitter, for example, and the kind of conversations that are happening on your platform, any key metrics that you can give us in terms of understanding what the kind of depth in conversations has been?
Yeah. So, for example, so on our language communities, right? Like, for example, Hindi is 50% of our community, right? So we're way far ahead in terms of being a Hindi platform for microblogging than anyone else. And there, about 65% of our content is actually poetry and literature, right? So these are users who are coming and actually writing original poetry and sharing thoughts every day, right? And that is very unique to language communities, because as an Indian, we are not writing poetry in English all the time, but when it comes to language, people write poetry every single day, right, on the platform. So I think enhancing culture, enhancing language is something that is automatically happening because of our language focus, and because the conversations are around literature, poetry, culture, the reactions, the comments, the conversations that are happening are also not just sharing differences of opinion or agreeing on an opinion. It is also about appreciating what the other person thinks in life. So I think there's a lot more depth in the kind of conversations that are happening, in the kind of content that is being created, and very different mood than pure English platform.
Right. Wanted to understand, going ahead, what's going to be the focus in terms of building the platform? Are there specific pillars that you've kept in mind in terms of adding new kind of products onto the platform?
Yeah. So we are committed to making local language expression easier as we go forward, right? So whether it is making typing in local languages easy, which is already Ku is the easiest place to do that. whether it's including audio, live rooms is something that we will definitely get into at the right time. Video, so we already have uploading of videos, but can we give new video experiences to share for one to express in local language? That is something that we keep experimenting on. We are deep diving into understanding each one's interest, and trying to ensure that each one finds their own micro world within Ku. For every user, Ku can be different. For one person, it could be a place where he gets his updates on politics every day. For another person, it might be a way to stay in touch with their favorite Bollywood superstar. For another person, it could be a way to stay in touch with their favorite spiritual guru. So I think the power of Ku is that each user can make Ku a world of their own. And personalization and features that will help expression in local languages is the way that we are looking at.
Right. In terms of funding, what's the plan out there? Any new fundraisers on the anvil?
So we've been focusing on improving our product, growing our users. Now that we've really started accelerating, I'm sure sometime next year we should be able to close our next round. So let's.
One question, Aprameya, on the revenue model. What kind of revenue model are you following right now? Do you think that the revenue model is evolving as you move forward in your journey? And any targets that you're working with in terms of overall revenue?
Yeah, so we are pre-revenue right now. I think it's very important to be truthful to why you started initially, because you introduce money too early, then the platform becomes known to creators as the platform to make money. That is an eventuality, but not the emotional reason to use the platform. So I think getting strong on why you should use the platform every day is something that we're focusing on and scaling. And at the right scale, we will start monetizing. Advertising, of course, is one. There are many more ideas that we have on, which are beyond advertising, which will help users interact with their favorite, creators better, for brands to be able to connect with creators better, for businesses to be able to, interact with all of these three sets of users. Right. So I think, we basically have to build scale before we start looking at monetization. But Ku is such a business where, once you switch on the revenue, you will be profitable from day one. Right. Because it's it's an upfront investment that you're doing and then building up to revenue. Right. So.
All right. On that note, Aprameya, thank you very much for joining us today on the Daily Dispatch. It's been a pleasure speaking with you as always. Thanks so much for your time.